This is Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Friday. And today we go back to the wisdom of the Proverbs. Perhaps some of the most beloved verses in the Proverbs are in chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, where he says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not unto your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths." We're talking about that person here who can trust in God completely. I know there are a lot of people who say, well, I know who God is. As a matter of fact, they may regard his word or especially some of the warnings in his word for their life. But here we're talking about the person who places their whole trust in him. Some would say, well, I believe in God, but I have some of my own designs and some of my own thoughts for the future. And I'm going to keep that ace in the hole, just in case God's way doesn't suit me. But if you put your complete trust in the Lord today, you won't be leaning on your own understanding or following someone else's folly for that matter. God has given us clear direction in his word, and he calls for complete trust. That's why Hebrews 11:6 says, without faith, it is impossible to please him. So he says, in all your ways, acknowledge him. And some may say, well, I only go to God with the big things in life. I can handle all the little stuff. But when it comes to a crisis, then I revert to prayer. That's not what God wants. God wants us daily to come to him. The idea of not leaning on your own understanding is realizing how high God's wisdom is and how much greater his knowledge of my life is than what I have. I believe the key in these verses is when he says, only then can God direct your path, when you put your complete trust in him. I know a stubborn mule may fight against his owner. He may even get tangled up in all his own harness because he won't listen or he won't follow. Don't be that stubborn mule today, okay? As a matter of fact, let's place our lives in God's hands today, and in all our ways, acknowledge him, and let's let him direct our path. And I guarantee you will have a better day. Certainly, you will have a blessed future if you learn to trust in him.